Hello, welcome to the chapter number 5 of this podcast, Barcelona Guide, a podcast created to help you on your visit to Barcelona. I am Jose Gomez, the founder of Looking Barcelona, a company where I provide tours to discover the city. And today we will talk about Montserrat. Montserrat is 1 hour by car from Barcelona, and it's one of the most visited places here in Barcelona. Montserrat is a holy mountain for us, and I'm going to explain to you why. The, the mountain, Montserrat, was formed 50 million years ago. At that time, there was a big ocean, and the mountain is the result of water erosion. The material forming the mountain is a conglomerate of small stones. This mountain is composed of many small stones, and it is as if cement had joined them together. So the shape is very original. So we can say that this mountain is the heart of Cataluña, of this part of Spain. So the base of the mountain is 5 kilometers from the front to the back, and it is 10 kilometers wide, and the highest peak is 1.2 kilometers. Montserrat in English means serrated mountain, and it is as a giant had serrated the mountain. Montserrat is a natural park as well. So many people hike and climb here. There are lots of peaks, and the most famous one is called Caball Bernat. What does Caball Bernat mean? Caball in Catalan language means horse. So it is the horse of a person called Bernat. If you like hiking, you might be interested in this. Once a year, a large group of people do a hike from Barcelona city center to here in Montserrat. They start at 6 p.m. and finish in the morning in the mountain. It takes about 18 hours. For a lot of people, Montserrat is a special and spiritual place. Many people have said to me that they feel a kind of energy when they are here. So many days here you can see a fog. This is caused by the sea breezes. And the vegetation here is typical Mediterranean, pines, oaks. So during the Second World War, the German army were here looking for the Holy Grail. So nowadays, once a month, a group of people and association meet here to look for UFOs. UFOs, yes, UFOs. So yeah, this is a very special place. And also in the mountain, there is the sanctuary of the Virgin of Montserrat. She's the patron saint of Cataluña. The sanctuary was founded in the 11th century by the Abbot Oliva. Today, it is a lively sanctuary. There is a community of about 100 monks. They are very busy people. They are dedicated to studying, to maintain the monastery, to teach. They have a publishing company and a record company. The sanctuary is visited by 2 million people every year. And there is a school called La Escolanía, which is attended by 50 children, and music is very important in the school. Apart from normal subjects, they study singing, music theory, musical instrument. Every day there is a performance at 1 o'clock which lasts 15 minutes, and the children sing Ave Maria. To get into the school is really difficult. Every year, hundreds of children do exams and tests, and only the ones with the best voices are accepted. People come here to the sanctuary to give thanks to the Virgin of Montserrat, not to ask for things. The monastery was built 1,000 years ago. Since then, there have been periods of glory and decadence. For example, Napoleon invaded Catalonia and destroyed much of the monastery. Napoleon's troops destroyed the part of the monastery dating from the Middle Ages, the Romanesque and Gothic part. So later, in the 19th century, it was rebuilt. It was rebuilt. So the monastery that we can see today is not the original one. So the original style of the monastery was Romanesque. The Romanesque style developed in Europe over the 11th and 12th centuries, and it is characterized by very thick walls because the whole weight of the building is supported by the walls. Windows are very narrow. Often the outside and inside walls are painted by frescoes. As you may know, fresco is basically painting done on a wall. The images, sculpture and painting, are not very expressive in Romanesque style, are symmetrical. They are designed to teach the common people the Bible. You must realize that at that time almost nobody knew how to read or write. It is especially a religious style, so it can be found in churches, monasteries, convents. Almost all the monastery that we see today was built in the 19th century. Both architects and the most important artists of Cataluña, like Gaudi, yes, like Gaudi, have been involved in the construction and decoration of the church. And Gaudi designed a small and simple chapel a bit away from the church. Around the mountain of Montserrat, there are some legends. I'm going to tell you a funny story. The drummer boy, Napoleon, invaded Catalonia and Montserrat as well. Here in the mountains of Montserrat, there was a very violent war. It happened close to here, in a town we are going that you can see if you come here to the monastery, a place called Bruck, B-R-U-C. So this is a very small village, and I'm going to say you something surprising to you. Now, Napoleon's army was defeated by a child. Yes, the French lost the war because a child from the village started to walking through the mountains playing a drum. The sound rebounded through the mountains, getting stronger and stronger, and Napoleon's soldiers fled, thinking they were the drums of a vast army. Today in the town of Bruck, there is a statue in memory of the drummer boy. And if you go to the monastery of Montserrat, you can walk and you will find a small square. This square is called La Plaza del Abat Oliva, Abbot Oliva's Square. So the Abbot Oliva founded the monastery. The abbot is the head of a monastery, as you probably know. So you can see beside this small square, so some cedar trees, they come from Lebanon. A monk from Montserrat brought them here. Millions of pilgrims down the ages have drunk at this fountain that there is in this square. So we can follow through the monastery and you will find another big square. So the architect of that square was Mr. Josep Puig i Cadafar. And in front of the square, we can see the new facade of the monastery. It was finished in 1960. The facade is made of the same stone of the mountain. We can see the conglomeration of small stones. In the upper part, we can read a Latin inscription that says, "The city of Jerusalem, a place of peace." It is a phrase that we often find in the Bible, and that means that Jerusalem is the reference point of the old Christian churches. And this large square is a meeting point where Catalan people come to make Castellers. Castellers is the human towers. It's classified by UNESCO as World Heritage, intangible heritage according to UNESCO. So we can see also on the left the remains of the Gothic cloister of the 15th century. So down the ages, here in Montserrat, there have been wars and fire. And the monastery, yes, as we said before, has been destroyed and rebuilt 4 times. So this is a basilica. Montserrat is considered a basilica. Basilica is more than a church and less than a cathedral. And so you will see that there are a lot of work mainly inside paintings, sculptures, floor, ceiling, that was done by the best artists of the 19th century in Barcelona. The inside of the basilica is well illuminated because of the natural light. People have said to me that it is a very intimate atmosphere that invents you to pray or reflect. When we go inside, you will notice that around the central nave there are many ancient silver lamps hanging from the ceiling. These lamps are that have been donated to the church by private individuals, by different associations, or by some Catalan villages. So this is a symbol of the Catalan people being always at the feet of the Virgin Mary of Montserrat. You can also notice that the altar is made by the block of stone of the mountain. And you will see the sculpture of the Virgin is from 12th century, and popularly she is known as La Moreneta in Catalan, which means the Black Madonna. She is black because of the oxidation of the wood. Before she was white. She has one she has in one hand a ball representing the world, and in her other hand she's holding her son Jesus. She's offering us her son. And I would like to tell you another legend, and the legend is La Santa Cueva legend. That means the Holy Grotto legend. The legend of La Santa Cueva, the Holy Grotto, refers to the origin of the image of the Virgin. It is a legend of 9th century. Legend says, one Saturday, as the sky was getting dark, a great light went down to the mountain. This light was accompanied by a beautiful melody. This light stopped at a particular point in the mountain. A group of shepherds, children, saw the light, and the following day, they went with their parents to the exact spot where the light had stopped. They found a small cave, and inside the cave was a statue of the Virgin of Montserrat. Everyone was very surprised by its beauty, and it was decided to move the statue to Barcelona. After many efforts, they could only move it a few millimeters. People took this to mean that the Virgin wanted to stay on the mountain, and so they built the monastery that we are talking about today. So Montserrat mountain and the monastery is worth a visit. I recommend you to go there. And for today, this is all. So I wait for you in the next chapter of this podcast. Hello, adios.